Episode 18.
Episode 18, mate. Congratulations. We've come of age.
Yeah, we can drink now.
We can. You can drink. I'll stay on the waters.
All good. What have we got in this edition?
So today we have a triumphant return of Failed or Nailed. We've also got some Budgy Smugglers, a unique way of selling miniature Highland cows, and had another win on the meat raffles, mate. So I'm going to show you how to turn something average into something awesome on the menu, and let's get fucking into it.
Okay, let's start with the fuck up of the week. It's always something fun that we've found on the internet, and this one's on me. I was scrolling through Reels, and this video pops up, and the place is called Beef, so it had me interested. Now, this place has a super long line. It must be good. I've been to Thailand a few times. I love beef, so I watched the video, right? Let's have a listen.
Welcome to Beef, the most trending restaurant now in Bangkok. It's secretly located at Silom Edge, where you need to go to the food court and then up to the highest floor and join the super long queue. All this just for the beef. I really love looking at locker designs in new restaurants. This is the kitchen where you can choose which beef you want. They even have a DJ playing classical music while you eat. This is where you sit and eat your juicy beef. Or you can also eat outside, which is definitely haunted. But don't forget to take photo with the famous designer lamp by Bo. Even though outside is definitely haunted, I really like how you can eat beef outside while looking at a beautiful BTS station. Okay, thanks, bye.
That was sus, bro.
But I'm a bit slow. Sigh. I'm a bit slow. And so what I did was I jumped on the internet and I went looking for the menu. Now, the art installation, the lighting installation, it should have been a giveaway, right? But it wasn't. And this is the menu I found, except it's not a menu. This is a DJ set list, I think.
Technically still a menu.
Yeah, but it's a different kind of restaurant. It's more of a sort of
There's
like
a menu.
It's more of a nightclub. Yeah, and the more I look at it now, the more embarrassed I am that I didn't pick up the cues on the video as I watched it, including the very long lineup, but of everybody that was male.
Well, it is a menu.
That's a good dad joke. Right, look, if this is your thing, not mine, but if it is your thing, you should check it out. It's called Beef. It's in Thailand, and it's a nightclub, not a restaurant.
It is. Funnily enough, it's in Bangkok too.
Do you know if a man walks on a plane sideways, where is he going?
Bangkok.
You can't put that in a podcast.
You can.
All right, let's move on. Oh, fuck, what a segue. Okay, tell me what we're looking at here.
Okay, we are looking at
Podcast has gone to shit.
This is a rural vasectomy, mate. There's a good-looking set of rattlers there that have got caught up on the top row of barbed wire. The owner of those reproductive organs is no longer connected to them.
No, I think what we're looking at here is a kangaroo who has tried to jump the fence and hasn't quite made it, and he's lost his balls on the jump.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this is fake, though.
R.I.P.
In the comments, Jacob says freedom, but at what cost?
True.
Riley, his name's Catlin now. All right, we've got to get out of this and onto our dishes of the week.
Righto, let's tidy things up a bit and get back on track.
Yeah. All right, this one was posted by Craft Beer El Mazzato, and he says, after returning to Osaka in Japan from my pizza studies in New York and New Haven, I've been practicing really hard, and I'm trying to create a similar pizza back in Japan, New Haven style.
I'd be very happy with that. Even if it's not ticking the boxes of being an authentic New Haven style pizza, it is fucking banging.
It looks absolutely fantastic, and this is a bit of cross-section and a look at the undercarriage here. He says he thinks New Haven style would work well in Japan. I think New Haven style is the new buzz pizza that seems to be taking over, and a lot of people in the comments said he just got it wrong because it's a little bit too thick.
Yeah, right.
New Haven pizza is really, really thin crust, and I don't think it has the really puffy edges.
Haters going to hate. Who cares if it's not New Haven, in my opinion. And also, too, what you got to remember, if you take something from somewhere else, he might not have access to the same flour, the same water, the same salts, that sort of thing. Definitely not the same tomatoes or cheese. So you got to work with what you got. So
if I went to Japan and ordered a New Haven pizza and it came out like this, I'd be pretty bloody happy.
I'd be very happy. Even if I was in Japan around all that awesome food, I'd still bang pizza.
Okay, let's move on. So this one was posted by Smoking Dog Barbecue. He's based in Goonellabah. And that's in New South Wales. And this is a char siu poke bowl.
That is a fucking win.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
That's something the wife would be happy with too. It's on the salady spectrum and nice colour.
Great colour. So he started off by marinating some beef Scotch steaks in some char siu sauce for 30 hours. He marinated them for. And then he seasoned them up with some street barbecue Chinese seasoning. He fired up the grill, seared the steaks, let them rest, served them with an Asian noodle salad, sesame soy dressing, white rice, and a spicy sesame mustard.
Yeah, I'd be very happy with that. Stoked, bro.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I think the colours and everything, this is me all over.
Lock it in.
Okay, I love this segment.
Here it is.
I forgot it was coming up. Failed or nailed. This is where I throw you under the bus, throw you a picture, and you've got to instinctively tell me whether they failed or nailed it.
Let's go.
Okay.
Failed. What the fuck? Is it frozen or is it that's set in like some of those 80s style pates?
This was posted by Wendy, and she says, hospital food never fails. And I think what we're looking at here is vegetables in a gelatine base mould. Looks like something out of the 50s.
Just do less, bro. Like, the veggies are good on their own. You don't need that gelatinous mass holding it together unless it was puree.
Well, maybe it's easier to cook this way. I'm not sure. But either way, this would make me get better real quick.
You'd be hitting the discharge button as quick as possible.
Okay, ready for the next one?
Yes. Ooh, yeah, nah.
So this one was posted by Jonathan Charles. He said, I made shrimp and waffles this morning. It was nasty. 2 out of 10, don't recommend. Shrimp and waffles, what a combo.
He's done well to butterfly the shrimp like that. They look good, but just not together.
No.
And I don't know what's going on with that sauce. Is that a curry?
I don't know what it is. Jacob in the comments says, thank you. My nightly Facebook session has now concluded.
Go to bed, Jacob.
All right, next one.
Absolutely nailed.
Oh, this is our second good pizza for the day.
It's pizza, bro. It's always going to win.
So this one was posted by Slice Addict, and he says this is a homemade 20-inch pizza baked in an uni.
So good. That's a big fucking oven.
It's a big pizza, right? I don't think unis, I thought they were quite small, like Gosney's, right? But they make a bigger one. I went and had a look. It's called the Coda 2 Max, and you can fit a massive pizza in this thing.
You can. It's definitely designed to fit two, but he's decided to push the boundaries and just go for one big one. Absolutely fantastic.
Look at the bottom.
That's that undercarriage you were talking about, mate.
Yeah. So I never really knew much about pizza, but I've been following Dave Penoy. He's got a couple of slang terms that he uses to describe pizza, and one of them is the undercarriage, and it's just to describe a charry base that gets quite rigid so you don't have a big flop on the pizza where all the ingredients sort of fall out when you try and pick it up. So this is perfect for me.
So good. You are a fan of the old crusty base. Yeah, also too, the Gosneys and the Unis, they're sort of popping up around. A lot of people got them for Christmas, but they can almost mislead you into thinking that it's going to up your pizza game. Yes, they are a fantastic oven, but the pizza maker is still you. You've still got to get your base right, get your toppings right, get your technique right, because all these things are going to do is highlight how shit you are by the time you put it in, and if you haven't nailed those.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the fun is in the process. Good times ahead for anyone trying to learn the art of pizza.
Yeah, well, the good news is those ovens will cook the pizza properly provided you've done all the legwork. And sometimes the legwork for me is the base or the dough that takes 24 hours, and sometimes I can't be bothered and just end up ordering pizza. But if you do spend the time, these little ovens can cook you a banging pizza.
That's exactly right. And I mean, it's less time than slaving over a brisket or something like that, which we all love, and we've all fucked them.
I will say this, though. If you cooked enough pizzas in those little pizza ovens, you've had a few disasters.
I reckon.
All right, talking points. This is a few things where we're found on the internet that have got us chatting in the comments between each other. So tell me a little bit about this one that you sent me.
So this here, it really caught my eye because this is some guys that have got some brisket ready for a competition cook. It's obviously trimmed to the max because that's how you cook it for those sort of circumstances. But the thing that stood out for me was how uniform the grain is running in these. I mean, we all know brisket, the grain runs in two directions, but this here is really well demonstrated and exaggerated of the two muscles that make up the one brisket.
So this was posted online by Gulf Coast Smoke, and he said, I just felt like trimming a brisket today. It came out beautiful. We have a competition coming up this weekend. So he's just getting some practice in. But this is a really good illustration of when you're cooking a brisket and then cutting up a brisket, you really need to be aware of where the grain does change direction so that you can slice your brisket properly.
This just highlights it so well.
So Mike Conway in the comments says, frame that, hang it on the wall next to your children.
That's it.
Looks great. Okay. This one might take some time, so I'm going to try and get through it as best as I can. But Candy Lynn, she put up a post on the Smoking Meat Facebook group. Now, this group has 1.1 million members, which is wild. And this one caused a stir. But basically what it is, it's her methodology for how you would price brisket if you were in a restaurant or catering. So what I've done is I'm going to convert it to metric and then I'm going to change the price to Australian just so we can follow along her maths here, right? So in Australia, a decent brisket will set you back $18.99 a kilo for a decent brisket. At 7 kilos, that's about $132. Once you trim it down, you take off the excess fat, you shape it, you're probably going to end up with about 5.5 kilos. Then after you smoke it, it's going to lose weight again. So you're probably going to end up with something that's around 4 to 3.5 kilos by the time it's all done and cooked. So that brings the cost for that pitmaster to about 40 Australian dollars a kilo. Now, that's the cost of the cooked brisket. Now, if you're in a restaurant, your food cost should be about 33%. That's the magic formula to running a successful food business. So they need to be charging around about 120 Australian dollars a kilo to the customer. Now, in America, per Candy's maths here, it works out to be about $28 a pound or about 90 Australian dollars a kilo. But I think brisket in the States is a lot cheaper to buy than what it is in Australia. But I guess the point here is that a lot of barbecue restaurants and catering businesses are actually selling brisket right now to customers for a lot less than what it's costing them. If you follow the maths of what you should be charging if you're running a restaurant, a lot of businesses out there are not charging, in America, $30 a pound, and they're not charging $120 a kilo in Australia. But brisket has become a bit of a loss leader.
It's the thing that's getting people in the door, though, I suppose. You're just going to have to try and make it back up on your specials and your sides. But, yeah, times are pretty tough out there. And if you're one of these guys that wants to whinge about the cost of things, just fucking stay at home.
I love that. I mean, yes, we know you can cook it cheaper yourself at home, but you don't take into account things like rent, wages, cost of running a business. And so if you do go out and you do see barbecue that you think it might be a little bit overpriced, but it's great barbecue, so be it.
That's exactly right. I mean, you're going out for that experience. Just hope that it is quality in and quality out. It can bite you the other way too, that if you're going out and you're paying this premium and it's really not up to scratch. So we've all sort of got to work together in making sure that we're all doing it properly.
Yeah, and I feel like coffee's in the same boat.
Yeah, man, like I used to work as a full-time barista probably about 10 years ago now, so not even things weren't costing as much as they were now, and the price hasn't gone up, relevance to what the cost of making one is. But yet people would be like, why is it $5 a cup? Coffee's $18 a kilo. There's 50 cups in a bag. It should be da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, well, mate, this is a $20,000 machine, an $8,000 grinder. I'm on me $27 an hour. You've got milk added, you've got electricity, you've got rent, you've got staff, you've got all of that. Be happy with your $5 cup because they reckon it could be up to around $10 a cup by the end of the year if things keep going the way they are, because there's a massive shortage of green beans. Even then, that's just keeping the price down to get people in the door, and hopefully they buy a plate of brekkie and the business can make the money there. So
yes, well, it's definitely interesting times for those people that are in the hospitality business, because there's a definite difference between what it's costing them to do something now and what customers are prepared to pay. So it is very interesting times.
Exactly right. But also too, we have really over the last 10, 15 years just become reliant and accustomed to going out every single day. Like when I was a kid, we never got taken out. Mum and Dad just couldn't afford it, and things weren't expensive back then. But now we've become this sort of culture that's reliant on convenience. Like you can make a cup of coffee at home, you can smoke a brisket at home. Yet now we're starting to whinge that things are costing, X amount. The pressure's been put on supply meeting demand and that sort of thing. So yeah, we've all just got to be grateful that we can still have these nice things and pull it back a bit if need be.
Okay, let's move on. Videos of the week. Now, a few episodes ago, you gifted the world with a free idea.
I sure did. This is all me.
Indian fried chicken. 5 weeks ago, this was posted on Austin Eater. Now, I'm being facetious. It's a very long bow to say that they saw your idea and have somehow miraculously come up with a food truck in Austin in 5 weeks. But let's have a listen.
Yeah, let's not have a listen. You can beep that bit out.
Yeah, we sell Southern style fried chicken with Indian flavors, and our crown jewel is the chicken. It's never frozen, and the brand we use is free of hormones and steroids.
So this is Austin's first Indian-style fried chicken My guy Raj is using Indian flavors to make fried chicken sandwiches.
All right, we'll turn it down there. But yeah, everything cool happens in Austin, Texas.
Definitely does. I'm pretty glad, though, that he stated that he's a fried chicken joint and his favourite thing on the menu is chicken.
He had to point that out.
You had to point that out just in case you missed it. But he's got the tote bag there, the best Indian fried chicken. He's guilty by association there, being the first one, so you can wear that hat for a bit. But yeah, for a country as heavily populated as India, I'm surprised this hasn't been a thing earlier.
Yeah, well, I didn't see any thank yous, any Sigh thank yous in that video.
The invite's in the mail, I think.
Okay, next one. I'm not going to lie, this one made me laugh. So let's watch.
Yeah!
All right, tell me what's going on here.
Well, this is a guy that's invited his mates round for a party. He's told them that the brisket will be ready at 5. It's probably now midnight. They're all lit, they're all ready, and he's absolutely nailed it.
Yeah, I'm guessing that there was some anticipation for this brisket. But he's done a good job.
Right there, man.
He looks like he's really into his barbecue, and he's probably like, it's ready when it's ready.
That's exactly right. And he's kept everyone away, like, fuck off, this thing needs to rest. And luckily, because it's paid off. But yeah, as you said, this is what goes through your head every time you slice your own brisket at home.
It does. If you cook a good brisket and then you slice it and it's good, this happens in my head.
Exactly. It doesn't happen in real life. It's usually the wife and kids saying, Dad, we're hungry.
Yeah, and look, thumbs up to him for the trim too there, because he's figured out how to get that grain right too.
He's found the middle, mate, and yeah, he didn't squeeze it either, which is a pet hate when people cut their brisket. You squeeze it and then you lose all the goodness. And
Dude, that would just happen for the clicks though.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Okay, mailbox. We've got some mail.
We have got some mail.
All right, well, let's just jump straight into it. This one was sent to us in the DMs by Stuart. Now, Stuart's from Lucky Squirrel Barbecue. He makes barbecue rubs. He said, I need a solution for punters to test my rubs at market stalls. I was thinking of popcorn or something similar. I don't know. Has he seen your popcorn hack yet?
I reckon he has, but he's probably also wondering why we haven't replied, because we've both seen the message and not replied to him. So this is why Stuart was saving it for the show.
But at the same time, I can't think of anything better than popcorn.
I can't think of anything better than popcorn, and if I did, I'm not giving that info out for nothing.
You've already gifted the world with your Indian chicken.
I have, and yeah, there's a few guys out there sharing and claiming the popcorn hack too, but we won't go into that.
Okay, let's move on quickly. Okay, so this next one cracks me up. This was on your own feed, your personal feed, is that right?
This was on my personal Facebook feed, and if you look, it was 17 weeks ago. A good friend of the show and a mate of ours, Sam Ellis, he'd been to see a hardcore band called Parkway Drive, and I'd saw them, as it says here, in 2007 in Sheffield in the UK supporting Suicide Silence. Anyway, 17 weeks has gone by and I get a notification saying someone commented on your post.
So the person that commented is Miniature Highland Cows Farm, and they said, message me if you're interested in getting a miniature Highland cow. So I'm guessing there must have been some sort of keyword set off, or they've searched for Sheffield, because I'm guessing that's how they found you.
Yeah, it must have been. Where were you when I was in the market for a miniature cow? You weren't there then. I'm not going to jump on now.
So I was lucky enough to attend your wedding, right? And it was a very cool wedding. It was really, really cool, but I feel like it was missing something.
Where's this going? Yes!
This would have made it so much better.
Fuck, Katie, we're not getting married again, but that would have been cool. I can imagine my 2 kids on there.
Riding them.
Yeah, Elkie and Coco. I mean, we've got Rudy, but she wasn't there for the wedding. But yeah, Elkie and Coco would have loved these things. And they're fully grown.
Oh, I love AI. Okay, let's move on. Mancaves.
Mancaves. This one is a literal man cave.
So this was posted by I'm a Bowman online, and it says, my Airbnb was an entire house built inside a barn.
So good. You wouldn't get any leaks.
So there's a house inside a huge barn is what we're looking at, and outside there's a ping pong table. They've got a few games and whatnot, but it's a whole house inside a barn.
Do you reckon they built the house first and then built the barn around it, or built the house inside the barn?
Well, I was a little bit curious, so I dove through the comments, which there wasn't a lot of comments, right? But Dan Brown said, when you can't build a secondary house on your property due to bylaws, so you just renovate the barn. And I'm guessing this is what's happened. They're not allowed to build a second dwelling, but they did have a big barn, and they've thought to themselves, hey, we could build a house inside the barn and get away with it.
Fucking upstairs for thinking, downstairs for dancing, mate.
Rightio, Art by Sigh. We have not missed a single edition where we haven't showcased one of your artworks, and this one's not going to be any different. So tell me about this one.
I believe this got revealed last weekend at the Hamilton Meatstock. But yeah, these guys reached out to me last year, the legends at Mapari Meats in Auckland there. This is a 100% family-owned company. They've actually got their own farms where they carry their own brand of Wagyu beef and their lamb, and they've been really successful in the barbecue scene through a lot of teams source their meat through these guys. They wanted some artwork for some shirts for Meatstock and that sort of thing, because merch is always a great thing to have to help build up the funds and that sort of thing. But yeah, these guys specialise in paddock to plate, and they take a lot of pride. I mean, these guys are on the farm, rearing the beasts. They're in the shop, chopping them up. They'll quite often every Friday have a barbecuer. Heaps of different teams show up, and they'll cook smash burgers out the front and do different sort of dishes just to showcase the quality of their meat. And they're really, really involved in the scene. They've won some awards for their sausages and that sort of thing. I think they won New Zealand's best venison sausage last year, which is a pretty big accolade because they love their game over there. I've just tried to cram as much info and Easter eggs in there as these guys have asked for, and they've been at Meatstock and good blokes.
Cool. Well, it's another smashing design. Well done.
Thanks, mate.
Okay, featured artist. This is where we get to talk about someone that's doing something really cool in the art world, and it could be a pinstriper or a tattoo artist or anyone we think that's doing something really cool. And you found this guy, and tell me a little bit about him. His name's Travis Mitchell Evans, and he's from Panther Hand-Painted Signs.
This legend's based out in Tamworth. He came up on my feed once I started sort of researching hand-painted guys because I really wanted to know more about the Aussie scene. Found him, got talking to him, actually featured one of his hats a couple of weeks ago, the hat I was wearing with the removable Velcro patch. Got a couple more of them on the way, actually. This guy is doing some really cool shit. He's recently just had a cool exhibition too where he showcased a lot of his work. He's incorporating a lot of sort of traditional tattoo imagery and that sort of thing that's right up my alley. We're applying it to beautiful hand-painted pieces, you know, a lot of painting on glass, which you've got to paint in reverse and that sort of thing, light boxes, and keeping it very old school, and it's right up my alley. I'm pretty keen to have a bit of a trip to Tamworth, catch up with this guy, and there's plenty for us to do in Tamworth, mate. I mean, we could go visit Jack's Creek. There's a new smokehouse there, and we could almost put that on the Under Seasoned travel list. But yeah, doing some really cool stuff. Get online, check out his Instagram, jump on his merch page. He's got some really cool stuff available. Support your local makers.
I think we need to invest in getting a couple of these pieces in the studio. They're not that expensive either.
No, I reckon he's underselling himself. But, you know, I think he's pretty new into the game, so he's just trying to cut his teeth and that sort of thing and get established. As artists, we always undersell ourselves at the start. Custom Under Seasoned piece would go really well on the walls there, so let's get talking.
So what we're looking at here is some videos of him at work, and this is not simple. He's doing a lot of this stuff in reverse. He's doing a lot of this stuff. It's one shot, right? When you've got the brush out and the paint, and the level of detail that he needs to go to get a piece done is really quite impressive.
Yeah, I've got a lot of time for this style. I mean, I like doing it myself. I don't quite get the time to apply this in my everyday, but I think he's absolutely crushing it.
Yeah, and he does a lot of stuff on glass.
A bit of faux LED light there.
Okay, you can follow him at Panther Hand Painted on Insta, and his personal Insta is Cheap Siggy.
Cheap Siggies.
Okay, products. We've got some new products.
We do. Oh, look out. Shaking that ass.
We've got our own Budgy Smugglers.
I recognise the artwork, and I'm ashamed to say I recognise the backside too. And it's not mine.
Budgy Smugglers, who are a really cool Aussie brand, I want to say, of...
Budgy Smugglers?
Yes, or...
Bathers.
Bathers. So they're swimsuits for men. They've made us some Meatstock themed Budgy Smugglers.
And are these available at Meatstock?
They're going to be, yeah. So they're a special limited edition. They're going to be available only at Toowoomba and Sydney. At home, 10 points if you can guess whose arse this is. You've already spotted it, haven't you?
I have.
That's a nice waist, though.
It is. There's a reason he's only showing his butt, though, because he didn't bring the spare socks to show off the front side.
What's another nickname for Budgy Smugglers? Dick Stickers, is that?
Dick Stickers, there's heaps, mate.
All right, let's move on. There's a new book out. It's called Barbecue Origins by MJ Ratz, and he's based out of Brisbane, Australia. He's got a bachelor and a master's degree, this guy, but his passion is barbecue.
Degree in Celsius or Fahrenheit?
So the book features a lot of rules for better barbecue, and it's got a lot of recipes in it as well. And he Q&As a lot of well-known pitmasters based out of Queensland.
Awesome.
So pretty sure you can get it on Amazon.
Get it, bring it to Meatstock, get it signed. Bucket list.
Rightio, you sent me this one.
Is this Waco in Texas?
Yep.
Sick.
So this is a 2-acre surf lake with the wave powered by a perfect swell technology. It's got a massive cable park for wakeboarding. It's got the world's longest lazy river, and it's got wedge slides. You know those slides where you slide off and then you're into the sky? The park's been around for a while, but I think the wave itself only opened in about 2022.
Not that we needed one, but this is an absolute another reason to go to Texas. And I jumped on Google Maps, and I'm pretty sure this place is smack bang between Dallas and Austin.
Wow, I drove past it like 3 weeks
You
ago.
probably
I didn't even
did.
know
So
it was
you
there.
fly into Dallas and then drive to Austin via this place.
Well, they've got a hotel, cabins, RV hookups, and surf houses.
So sick. And the thing I love about this wave is you see the ones like the urban surf and that, and it's usually just a steep takeoff, a bit of a wave. But this one here, it actually has a wedge section where when they crank it up, you'll have your takeoff and then you'll have a setup and it'll be another wave coming in the other direction. So the two waves combine and you've got yourself a nice little launch pad. So
Cool.
I think they set that up for when the bodyboarders sort of want to book it in and have a bit of an air show.
All right, it's another one for the bucket list.
That's it.
I feel like if we go to Texas, though, we'd tick quite a few of these off.
I reckon we would. We got to sell some more T-shirts though,
Buy
mate.
some
because,
T-shirts.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff stacking up just in Texas alone.
Yeah, okay. Let's move on to pit builders.
I'm starting to love this segment, mate.
Yeah, I love to see people that get handy. Okay, what's this look like to you?
Looks like a steampunk missile silo.
Well, somebody saw that and thought, this is going to make a good bloody smoker. This is a photo from Calibri Barbecue Co. and I'm wearing the hat. They sent us a hat. They're based in Broken Hill, Australia, and his name's Casey Paul.
Have we featured this smoker finished yet?
We did.
We did.
I want to say it was sent in to us maybe 4 or 5 episodes ago, and we were really impressed and wanted to find out more. So he's actually sent us in some photos.
Yeah, sick.
So in 2021, they started selling their own blend of spices, but they'd always kind of wanted to get into catering. And a few months ago, they finished their own big offset. He had some help from a friend. His friend's name was Luke. And on rainy days, because they both work in construction, they decided to build this thing together.
It's so good. It's the one with the pickaxe handles for the doors.
Yeah, it's a monster.
It is.
So it's a traditional offset. It's 4 metres long, 1.3 metres diameter. It's got 8 millimetres wall thickness and it weighs 3.5 tonnes.
Jesus, that thing would hold heat. I mean, in Broken Hill too, you might not even need to fire up the firebox some days. It'd just radiate that much from the sun.
Yeah, it gets hot out there. But he says the bottom shelf runs at 250F. The top shelf runs at 275F. They run it on reg gum. They said it's very fuel efficient. 18 hours is a couple of wheelbarrows of splits.
Amazing.
Pretty cool.
Obviously season dependent. It's probably not going to run that efficient in the winter.
You know what else he said? His goal is to come to Meatstock.
He's also got the bucket list.
But what a cool smoker, hey?
It looks sick. And the fact that it's just a passion project between a few mates with an end goal is even better.
It proves, though, that any time you spot a big cylinder of metal sitting somewhere rusting, it could be turned into a smoker.
Could be reincarnated.
Rightio, we're getting towards the end of the show here, and you've cooked something for us. I'm so excited. I'm hungry.
Certainly have, mate. And this is sort of stemming back to the price of meat going up and that sort of thing. This was a bit of a win at the local meat raffles, and I grabbed myself a Silverside. But also too, if you go to the supermarkets, the butcher, Silverside's sitting around $10 a kilo. This was a 3.7 kilo one. What I've done there is I've just chucked it in a big pot of water, and I left it in there for a couple of days and then put it in the fridge because I wanted to draw out a lot of that salty brine. Silversides are obviously corned and very heavily salted to give them a bit of longer shelf life. That water sucked a lot of that salt out because I was going to add a bit of smoke and some spice, so you don't want it to be too overwhelming.
Yeah. So tell us about the ingredients you got here.
Righto, so I've sort of made a bit of my take on a pastrami rub. I've got the mustard seed, the corianders, the paprika, the sugar, and I used Tuffy Stone's big umami rub as the base because it had the right amount of salt and the different peppers and the garlic in it already. The rub flavour was amazing. I made it all together, kept a lot of the seeds in it whole so that we got that nice texture on top. Threw it in the smoker at about 275, just got it humming along until I was happy with the bark, wrapped it in some butcher's paper after about 5 hours, chucked a bit of the old Tassie tallow in there just to keep it nice and moist. The wife was very disappointed that I brought the leftovers here today because they have absolutely been smashing it. But this is one I like to do on a Sunday. Have it for dinner. Then you've still got probably 2 kilos of meat to have cold on sandwiches. And that's how we're having it today, is a bit of a my take on a Reuben.
Rightio. Well, I'm looking forward to it. This is a video of you cutting it. Now, I'm going to go back and be inspired by a video we watched earlier. So I'm going to turn the volume up on this one. Let's play it.
You can hear my kids screaming.
That looks amazing, bro.
It was good, man. It was real good. Look at all my shit on the counter in the background. But the star for this for me was I made up my own Russian dressing too, so it was really good.
All right, well, I couldn't be more excited, so bring it out.
Let's go.
All right, so I've got the stunt cam here, and let's see the cross-section. Oh, yeah, I like it.
All right, so we've got this just on some good old sourdough bread. We've got some sauerkraut underneath the pastrami or the smoked Silverside. And then a bit of a Russian dressing, which is basically just mayonnaise, horseradish cream, and some Meatstock seafood Spitfire. Went really well. Used a bit of Adriano's rub hack there, so.
All right, I have a feeling that I'm going to get this dressing all over myself.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Cha-chung.
Oh, my God.
Man,
Bro.
that's good, eh?
This is so good.
Nice, easy dish. Do it on a Sunday arvo, mate. Cold smoked Silverside sandwiches for lunch. I'm all about those dad hacks, buddy.
Okay, that was banging. I'm going to demolish that when we finish here.
Yeah, that's it. You guys don't want to see that.
Should have seen how much mess I made. Okay, it's the Encore. It's where we throw up a random photo for you, and you've got to figure out what the hell's going on and give me your feedback.
Righto, let's go. Oh, we're back on that A5 bullshit, are we? Oh, what a score, though.
So what we're looking at here is an A5 Japanese Wagyu beef ribeye, and it was $110, but it's been discounted down to $19.99.
Literally a steal.
It's pretty cool, eh?
It looks like it's in a sushi box.
Well, I hope they had more than one because I would have bought all of them.
Yeah, I reckon you'd have to eat them all that day, though, because I reckon they're getting close to the use-by.
This reminds me of a story. My local supermarket, they used to have porterhouse steaks, and they were really, really heavily marbled, and they were fantastic. And they were always marked as budget porterhouse steaks. And then they had proper porterhouse steaks, which had no marbling in them whatsoever. But I think they didn't know what they were doing. They thought that because it had marbling, it was bad. And if it didn't have marbling, it was good. So I bought these things religiously every second day for probably 6 months before they finally figured out they were labelling them wrong.
Yeah, the older generation too, they're probably not into that. They're like, no, my steak has to be a proper fillet. You know, I don't want fat through it. If you could have milked that for a bit longer, it would have been good.
No, well, this guy has picked up an absolute bargain here, and TNT Supermarket, I think what it is, so you've let go of steal there.
You have.
All right, episode done.
Episode done.
I'm going to wrap this up real quick because I want to finish this thing.
Yeah, let's do it. See you next Tuesday.
See ya.